Hello, this is Dr. Joe Fanning with Johns Creek Chiropractic, and today what we wanted to do was talk to you a little bit about backpack safety and its importance to your child and their young spine. So, mainly we'll spend a few minutes and we'll just talk about, like I said, the facts about backpack safety. So, some things I'd like you to look at is the impact that a backpack has on a young child's spine. So if you look at a few of the things here, you can see that a recent study found that the average weight of a sixth grader's backpack was as much as 18.4 pounds. Now, that is a substantial amount of weight because I know some sixth graders personally who weigh about 90 pounds. And the recommended amount should be no greater than 10%. So in this case, a 90-pound child would have no more than 9 pounds on her back or their back. But as we know that's hardly the case these days. And the type of weight that you get on a young person's spine, it can actually have a tremendous health risk. And that's kind of what we want to talk about today, so you can just kind of keep a heads up with this. So very quickly, I want you to take a look at some of the stats on children and take a look at the first one where 60% of students between the age 12 and 17, they carry a backpack that actually weighs more than that 10% of their body weight. And 20% actually carry more than 15% of their body weight. And look at the next part. In a study, they found that 1 in 4 students report having more than 15 days of back pain during the year. Now that's crazy because these kids are only 12 to 17 years old. And what I find even more alarming is that in just 2012, look at the numbers, 5,415 people went to the emergency room for backpack-related injuries. Now, we can prevent a lot of that by just simply following a few things, and that's our goal today, is make sure that you know what they are so that you can basically reduce this risk for your child. So look at some of the long-term effects of a backpack. You can get strained neck and shoulders if you hear your kid talking about that, or if they're talking about headaches and they carry a backpack, you may want to consider the weight of their backpack. And then simple things like back pain and muscle spasms, and even arthritic changes at a young age are very possible. And for long term, we're talking about the time they are out of college. But honestly and truly, I've seen younger kids who are 15 already developing arthritis in their neck, which is kind of scary. And it can also, if your kid has asthma, this might be part of the reason why the weight of their backpack can affect the nerves coming out of their middle back or their thoracic spine. And this can create more stress on their lungs. And another thing that's a long-term effect, especially if we have a genetic disposition for it, we're predisposed, is scoliosis. So moving on, let's take a look at what you can do to reduce your child's health risk for this problem. I think my middle school, my child, he has lockers, and we encourage him to use them. We ask him to leave his, it's actually recommended by our school, but they have 2 backpacks. They have a lightweight one because the halls are tight, but they also can carry less books, and that's important because you don't want to carry on all that weight all day. And then you can unload, like I said, just all the unnecessary items like maybe sports equipment, tablets, iPads, anything that you don't really need to travel back and forth to class, or that you can actually leave at home because you're not using it. That's very wise to do. And I would encourage you as parents to tell your children and make sure that they're paying attention to what they should and should not carry. And that leads us to the next part where you encourage your child to bring only the essentials home. Don't bring anything else that we don't need because we don't want to have that added stress, okay? And then here's another one that we hardly ever see used. Make sure that your child is using both straps on their backpack and try to get them to understand why that's important. Putting it on one side it's more comfortable sometimes and it's easier to do, but it actually leads to more sprain and strain. So try to just make them aware of that because kids don't want to hurt either, and they'll do what they can in order to feel better. So other things you can do for your child's spine is, here's a great one that we do at home. Our school's set up pretty well. Use digital textbooks, okay? You can access them from a home computer or a tablet, and it reduces the amount of stress that you have to deal with on a regular basis. It's pretty cool because if they forget something, we have access to it as well. And of course, I'm a chiropractor, and I want you to know it's very important to get your child adjusted. Maybe not all the time, but chiropractic care is an essential tool to use, much like getting your child's teeth examined, you want to make sure their spine is examined. And we have a special insert called a foot leveler, and you can see that there. Foot levelers will allow us to actually properly balance the body in its poor posture, and it's a simple test. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes, and it looks kind of like that. It's really kind of cool. I don't know if you can see that or not, but if you can, I'll leave a reference to it. And we could do this in just a few minutes to see how much of the spine is being affected by a loss of arches in the feet. And then finally, just make sure you educate your child on the increased weight that they carry and how they can decrease that risk, because like I said, if they're hurting, they're going to really want to help themselves as much as possible. So I hope you've enjoyed our talk here, and have a great day. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're available anytime. Bye for now.